Hey everybody, I'm JJ Johnson. You're watching Reality Survival, and today I wanted to talk to you about a new or increasing threat that the FBI has reported that they are seeing amongst children. So this is the article I'm looking at, FBI.gov, and it says that sextortion, the FBI, and that's the topic what we're going to talk about today. The FBI has seen a huge increase in the number of cases involving children and teens being threatened and coerced into sending sexual or explicit images online. It's a crime called sextortion. So basically, there's a couple of different kinds on this. There's the basic sextortion where somebody is manipulating a child to send them indecent photos, and that's the purpose. That's all they want, is just more of those photos so they can sell them to, pornographers and child pornographers and all that kind of stuff online or whatever. And then there is financial sextortion where, somebody they'll convince a child to send them an illicit image, and then they will try to extort them for money and say, hey, you need to go get some gift cards, whatever, and then send me, that stuff. Or, send via PayPal or Venmo or whatever, whatever other way to get the money to them. And so this has happened. It started to happen more and more. And I think it's probably likely to happen more and more, especially the earlier that kids get access to devices, to phones and iPads and all that kind of stuff. Now, it's up to you as a parent to decide how early you want to give them, how often you want to give them, and how you want to control that. So for me, I do a couple of different things personally. One, until the kids are 18, they don't have any privacy on their phones. I routinely go up and I grab the phone, and at times that is unsuspecting to them, and I take a look at stuff, and I just look through their histories and all that kind of stuff, and so they understand that I'm monitoring it. And the other thing I do is I have the ability through my router to be able to monitor the traffic, the where websites are going to and all that kind of stuff, right? There's some parental controls in there and all that. So that way. Another thing that you could look at is there's different kinds of software. This is from top10.com. I'm not really very familiar with this website or these specific online parental control softwares. I'm just throwing some of this stuff out here as a potential option for you. I think if you just searched, online child protective software or child monitoring software, then you're going to find a lot of different options out there. So Bark was one that's on this list. Aurora, IZY, M-Spy, and then Norton and Kaspersky. I think Norton is the sub parental controls virus that's associated with my router, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to go look and see. But so there's different options out there for you to be able to monitor your kids. And I know that this is a prepper channel, and a lot of people, when they see that they might want to see something a little bit more exciting, they might want to see something a little bit more, talk to me about doomsday or the end of the world or whatever the case may be. But this is reality, right? These are the things that our kids are having to deal with. And so we need to be thinking, as parents, we need to be thinking about how do we protect them from it, And so I'm sure that you guys all have some suggestions in what you do and how you monitor your kids, and maybe just not giving devices is the option that you do or whatever. My kids are all older. The youngest one is 14. And, so I would love for you to put in the comments below what you do to monitor your kids, or what software you use for your kids to keep an eye on them to make sure that they're not doing stuff that they shouldn't do. The other thing to think about in this, aside from sextortion, those kinds of cases, is having access to pornography. that is extraordinarily damaging to young kids. And it's important that you try to mitigate that, because it'll give them a false sense of what sexual activity is supposed to be like. And that can be damaging to, both the boys and the girls in a lot of different ways. So I would recommend that if you haven't really thought about this, if you haven't really, done anything to take any steps to prevent these kinds of things from happening, then I suggest that you do. Just have discussions with your kids about what is acceptable, what is unacceptable. If somebody ever tries to ask you about this or tries to get you to take pictures, this is what you can do. You can come and talk to me. You're not going to be in any trouble. The people who are asking you to do that are the ones who will be in trouble, not you. Those kinds of conversations, I think, are really, really important and really, really helpful for parents to have with their teens, or early on. As early as they're getting the devices, if they're competent enough to be able to run those devices, then they are probably competent enough to be able to understand what that means and what the reality is. So if you haven't done that, hopefully this just spurs some thought and gets you to thinking about it. I think that this is important, and I think probably a lot of people don't take the time and talk about it. They haven't thought about installing software. And look in the comments. Let's see what other suggestions we can come up with as a community to on ways to monitor this kind of stuff. So appreciate your time and your input on that. And don't forget to live the 6 Ps. Proper prior preparation prevents poor performance. Stay safe, guys.